this is what I'm thinking, right? Because we can, if you're not happy with Rockbusters, if we add a little bit to it, and they love the bit I've added, then we can slowly fade it out without them knowing.
That's it. Do 2 of your Rockbusters and one of these.
Right.
I think the prizes, Carl.
They're the prizes.
Well, let's do the prizes.
Let's quickly go through them then.
Yeah.
All right, what have we got here?
Let's speed this up because I'm dropping off now. I think it's either warm in here or this isn't the most scintillating conversation we've ever had.
Okay, firstly, there's a CD here. It's tracks that were sampled by various artists, including Jay-Z, Happy Mondays, and so on. It's the original versions. That might be quite good fun.
Sure.
I Love You. We see it's a number of love songs.
Yeah.
You've got Blue featuring Elton John on there.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole. Some
Yeah.
greats there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Retro Dance Masters.
Oh, yeah.
That's another CD. Dance tracks, obviously, on there. Oh, it's still knocking about. The Best Air Guitar Volume 2.
Sure.
Rubbish. This is quite good, though. It's Paul Whitehouse's TV show Happiness. That's the first series on DVD. We've also got Stephen Polyakoff's The Lost Prince. You can have that in your collection. Probably never watch it, but it might look like you're slightly classy and arty. And
Is it subtitles?
the best one-hit wonders album in the world ever. You got stuff on there like Nena, 99 Red Balloons, and M's Pop Music. So not that bad a selection actually this week. He's cut out some of the chaff.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So
right, here we go. Rockbusters.
Rockbusters, first one. We'll do 2 of these, and I'll play something in a minute. Right. First one. The Australian picks 2 blokes.
What?
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The initial?
Yeah, the initial E, right? And the second one, that builder's a bit...
I've got that already. It's annoying.
That builder is a bit cute.
He's a bit cute.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's BT.
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 That builder's a bit cute.
Yeah. And the Australian picks 2 blokes, E. And then what I'm going to do now is play some sound effects that make up a song, and you've got to guess what the song is.
Go on then,
right?
just do it and then a shot on the summer.
Here we go. There you go. So what song's that? It's sort of an XFM type
Okay,
song,
well, that's
isn't it?
great. Email
So the
only.
first, so I should just clarify that the first 2 are band names or artist names, but that's the title of the track that we want there.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
It's
That's
so
right.
confusing. No one's ever going to figure this out.
They will, though. They will.
All right. First one was the Australian picks 2 blokes. The initial was E. The answer there, Eminem. Eminem. All right. The second one, that builder is a bit cute. The initials there were BT. That was Bonnie Tyler. And then we introduced a new bit to the show. That song sounds alright. These were the effects you heard. And that was Prodigy, Smack My Bitch Up.
Who are you punching there?
And could I just say, no animal was harmed in the taping of that.
I'm not a champion of Rockbusters, as you know, but I think it's overstayed its welcome. But I'm
Well, I think Carl's just giving the fans what they want here.
Okay.
It's a popular thing, isn't it?
Got some good prizes.
The press are behind it.
Let me tell you what the prizes are. It's a dance music compilation, Cream Trance Anthems 2003. We play a lot of trance on this station.
I put that on quite a lot and danced to it myself.
There's the original motion picture soundtrack to the forthcoming film adaptation. When you've seen the film, I'm sure that will mean more to you.
You like that, don't you?
It's a good movie, yeah. Nicolas Cage playing himself and a twin brother. And it's written by Spike, it's directed by Spike Jonze.
Joined at the, what?
No, they're not joined at the hip at all, or at the face. And we've also got the best one-hit wonders album in the world ever. What have we got on there? We've got things like The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, brilliant.
Nena, 99 Red Balloons.
The Rembrandt. In fact, it kicks off with Nena.
Sure.
That's followed up by I'll Be There For You, the theme from Friends by the Rembrandts.
Yeah.
And of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something.
Brilliant. Deep Blue Something. Is that the worst name ever?
I think it possibly is.
No, Sixpence None the Richer.
Sixpence None the Richer.
That's a pretty bad name.
Okay, again, I know we've got a lot of chill-out fans who listen to us, so the best chill-out album ever.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, of course, all these prizes collated by Carl from, I guess, people's drawers.
Yeah,
maybe their
looking in a
bags.
drawer, looking in a drawer.
Oh, dearie me.
What is it?
The only thing probably worth having is a, I mean, it's topical, if nothing else, Carl. A 7-inch by the White Stripes. Merry Christmas from the White Stripes. That was their exclusive
Brilliant.
Christmas single. So if
So
you
that's early, isn't it? That's
It's
you
worth
get
something.
that.
It is worth
A lot of
something.
people have got to wait 11 months before that's released. Or is it last Christmases?
Exactly. And I have never heard of this DVD.
Go on.
I like to think of myself as being fairly familiar with TV and films, but I have never heard of Stephen King's Rose Red. Welcome
On
to a
DVD.
place evil calls home. And it's on DVD, it's certificate 12, so don't imagine anything too shocking. And it looks appalling. Is Rose Red Mansion truly haunted? To find out, Professor...
Okay, we've got the gist of it. They're not very good prizes. They're cobbled together, but if you've got nothing better to do, call in if you know the answers to these clues. It's Rockbusters.
Let's not let them call in, Rick. Please don't let those people call in.
No, they're not calling in. It's email only. Carl, don't interrupt me.
I'm just...
Yeah. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Email only. I can't stress that enough.
We just don't want to speak to you people.
Right, go on.
Right, so I give some initials out and a cryptic clue, and it makes up the answer and that.
Well, sometimes it does, yeah. Go on.
There's 2 of them, there's a new aspect, which I'll explain about in a minute. So, the first one is, cryptic clue is, well, if he would have been wearing an helmet, it would have been alright. And the initial there is B, right? So, well, if he would have been wearing an helmet, it would have been alright. That's B, right? Band or an artist. Second one, why are them Jamaican fellas swinging fish around their head?
Okay.
Alright, initials
Just fills me with...
DS. DS. Why are them Jamaican men swinging fish around their head? Alright? And the final bit to Rockbusters. It's a new bit. Last week I played you this.
His face goes along with it.
That's someone beating up a dog. That was Smack My Bitch Up, right? So here's some sound effects and that, and they make up a song.
I can listen to him talk
Hang on,
all day.
let's have a listen to the effects.
That's terrifying.
Right, I told you not to play that one. It's rubbish. No one will get that.
Well, we'll see.
I heard that. I can't know what he's going to say. I said it's rubbish. No one will get it.
No, it's not the one you think it is. Ah, right. So, email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk and you can win that stuff.
I'm a little bit confused. I'm here. I've heard what you're saying. We've discussed this in the past. I don't know what's happening.
What's that? Is that a clue? That's a cryptic clue. That's screaming to a song, is it?
To do with screaming.
Well, don't say it.
So
it should stand up by itself. Don't give him any clue.
Hang on a sec. So this is the name of a song. It's not a band or an artist.
Yeah,
the sound
that's-
effect.
So the first 2 are bands or artists, and the last one is the name of a song.
I said we should abandon this.
Okay, right. Do the question. Do the questions and the answers. And if I think that it's either too hard or ungettable because it's stupid, we're binning it.
Right.
I thought we'd already been. I'm annoyed that.
Right, come on. Do it quickly.
The first one was, well, if he would have been wearing an helmet, it would have been alright.
Right, what's the answer?
That was B.
What's the answer?
Busted.
Right, that works. All
Busted.
right.
That's fair enough.
Did anyone get that? I assume some people got.
No. People have given up, Rick. People aren't even bothering to contribute.
Right, what's the next one?
They've just ignored it like it never happened.
Busted.
Second
Busted.
one.
Busted.
Why are them Jamaican men swinging fish around their head?
Go on.
That was DS.
Yeah.
70s band, Detroit Spinners.
The Detroit Spinners have become the D-Trout Spinners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
And then the final bit, I'll play you some effects. They
Let's
went
hear
like
this.
this.
Let's hear this. It's terrifying, Carl. It's sinister.
Well, what's happened there? What was happening?
No. What's the answer?
That was Born Slippy. The woman was having a baby, the doctor tried to grab it, it fell onto the floor.
That's in your head, Carl.
That's just a load of screams.
That's
and
in
noise.
your head.
Oh.
Do you know what? I haven't even got onto Born Slippy. I'm still on Trout Spinners.
Well, let's put a song, that's it.
I don't know what to say. Well, Carl, you are officially a published author, and a copy will go in the British Library.
Well, they have to take every rubbish. I think it'll go in the British Library lavatory. From what I understand, it'll be in there with like a collection of like novelty postcards and maybe
exactly.
a Viz compendium. But, you know.
Yeah, so they take everything. Just think of that.
But why do they do this? Why do they think they've got to keep everything? Because we're living in a world now where everything is sort of binnable, and you know we use stuff for what it is.
Well,
I think you could say that.
That's fine. That's fine.
There was a sort of poetry to it, but I think he stumbled across that. I don't think it was intentional.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't got over him saying foodage.
Do you know what I mean, though? That the world's changed, so why is that rule still hanging around when...
Well, it's not a rule. I mean, it's not a rule that, you know, the country's going to, you know, live and die by. It's just that it is seen as a repository for knowledge, for information, and I don't believe any old Joe can wander in there and get one of these books. I think you have to either be a scholar. I think maybe it's open for a brief window for students, but, you know, you couldn't just wander in there and see your own book, Carl. You know,
there are some books that they have to turn the page for you in gloves, so the amino acids.
I'd hate that.
With yours, it won't matter. They just go, it's over there, or they throw it to you.
No, it's just.
Or they slide it along the floor.
Well, they say, "Oh, I can't give it to you, Carl, because it's propping up this desk."
Yeah, they kick it to you and say, put it in the bog when you're finished with it.
It's just that thing of being timed, though. I hate it when people go, "Oh, have you read this?" And then I can't read it properly because I'm thinking they're thinking I'm taking ages here. Do you know what I mean? So I have to scan read it. And I go, "Oh, it's good, that." And they go, "What do you think?" And I go, "Oh, about what?" So I hate the fact that someone stood there with gloves on, because that isn't normal, relaxing sort of reading, is it?
But it's not. You don't go in to read the Doomsday Book, let's say, in order to just have a relaxing read. You're going in there to study
They're
it.
research,
historically.
as I say, they're professors and scholars and scientists and historians. They don't wander in because it's raining and they go, "What's a good read?"
There's not a man wearing white gloves turning the pages of the latest Jackie Collins.
No, exactly. Do you have heat?
Watching your lips move as you read to see if you can turn the next page.
I suppose I shouldn't really feel guilty, because at the end of the day, right, I mean, people always rave about Shakespeare, saying, "Oh, yeah, his work was good." But
Brilliant.
at the same
He'll
time...
probably put that on the book when he brings another one out. He'll put your review on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Carl Pilkington.
But at the same time, you know, like, some people will have a go. I'm ready for people having a go, like that Wendy did about me little films I made. You know,
It's her opinion. Both of you didn't hear she slammed Carl.
No, well, you know, each to their own and that. And, you know, if everyone liked the same thing, I don't know what we'd do, right?
Sure.
You don't know anything.
So all I'm saying is everybody raves about Shakespeare when, if you properly looked at what he did, he invented a lot of swearing words, right? Effing and jeffing and that. Now,
That was one of his.
Well, it's Effin and Jeffin and Effin and Jeffin Part 2.
But all I'm saying is, for some reason, when things are brought out years ago, people say they're good even though they're not, is what I mean. When I was watching that documentary about the real Indiana Jones,
Brilliant.
they dug out some rocks with drawings on, and they were like, "Oh, don't damage them, don't mark the paint," and it's like, it's rubbish. It was like a stick fella with a yak. Now, if that was found now, or if a kid showed me that, I'd go, "Hey, it's not that good." So what I mean is, because stuff's old stuff gets respect.
But you're not judging it on its aesthetic merits. You're judging it on its historical importance.
I don't think that's fair, though, because when that fella drew that, it wasn't old. He did it when he was knocking about.
No,
Yes,
but you must see the difference between you doing a stick man on a wall with a bit of chalk near your local and a cave painting that they date to 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, so in 10,000 years' time, when they find my story, will it gain more respect then than it is now?
No, less.
But why is it?
Because people will more and more realise what a buffoon you are. The more research we do, the more you expose yourself as an empty, egg-headed moron.
That's a friend speaking right there, Richard Gervais.
No,
He loves you like a brother.
I just think, you've mentioned him before, Steve, this Peeps fella.
Yes.
Has he done anything else apart from a diary? Because now I've done a book and a diary.
That means you're better than Pepys, is what you're thinking,
Well,
isn't it?
I'm not going to say that until I know, but what else did he do?
Well, Pepys wasn't a writer predominantly. I believe he was, you know, like a bureaucrat or something. But he kept a diary which has since become a historical landmark.
And what did he say in it?
Well, it's again more because it's both well written and it's also an amazing insight
A social
into
document
a social
as well.
document. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a social document.
I
of
mean,
that
yours
period.
is a social document, but it sort of revolves around having egg and chips and a cup and seeing a ladybird, which, you know...
But that's today's living. That's
Well,
what
his
I'm saying.
but his describes the Great Fire of London, which is what it's most it's best
we haven't
remembered
had
for.
one of them. If we had one, I'd write it down. I'm only writing what's happening. He was just lucky. He was about in London when that happened.
The thing is, if they read your diary, they'd think, well, nothing happened that year. Nothing important in the world happened that year.
Because your diary doesn't just mention. I mean, okay, yes, it does. It fails to mention any disasters in London because we haven't had any. It doesn't mention any world events. It doesn't mention wars in Iraq, terrorism. It doesn't mention anything.
But that's all being wrote about anyway. If you're saying there's a museum that's keeping everything, there's loads of other books for that. Who's looking at the fella whose skulls fell off?
What?
We see. It's interesting, isn't it? A fella's skull has fell off.
What do you mean? His skull has fell off?
It's something to do with circulation.
But what do you mean his skull fell
Well,
off?
it's in the diary.
But how can a skull fall off? Because it's surrounded by tissue and it's got a brain. How can just his skull? How can it detach itself from all the stuff surrounding
He
it?
mislaid all his dreams.
But all I'm saying is that's not getting a look in.
No, because it's not significant or probably true.
Carl, you have the same concepts that you worked out and decided that were true at about 10, I think.
I look at life like a
Box
big
of chocolates?
book, like a big book.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right? And you know, sometimes you get halfway through it and you go, even though I've been enjoying it, I've had enough. Give us another book.
No. Your metaphor, analogy, whatever you're trying to create there, falls down with "let's have another book."
Yeah.
No. You can either opt out of life or stick with it till the end. You can't go, be someone else now. You can't do that. I know you think you can, and I think in your world you can, you possibly be injected into an old woman's head when you've had enough and you come out a little baby.
What I mean is, at the moment, my life, I'm going to live to 74, 75, right?
Okay,
all right.
So yeah, I'm probably on page, what am I on? A book that's got about 200...
This is painful, Steve. This is really painful. Go on, sorry, carry on.
I'm on, I say if my book's got 300 pages in it,
Yeah.
a few pictures and that.
It's a picture book. That's the great thing about Carl's life. It's a book for children.
It's a pop-up book, and it just every page he pops in, he goes. All right.
All right.
I'm probably on like page about 170.
Yeah.
He's going to die at 74. He's reading a book with a few pictures in with 300 pages, and he's on 170. Go on then.
So, right, if the book was too thick, right, and there was loads more pages
Let me tell you,
left,
this book is way too thick.
If the book was more thick, yeah.
The book could not be thicker.
if there was loads more pages left, I'd go, I can't be bothered reading on.
Right. Okay.
But you
Let him finish the
He must have
analogy.
known that when he saw the book. You don't.
Got to finish this analogy,
Right.
otherwise we're going to be here all night.
Listen, he must have known how many pages there were when he got the book out of the library.
Yeah, but the way they write books, they're painting pictures more at the beginning, you're going, this is good. And then it gets a bit boring as it goes on, doesn't it?
Okay, well that works. So you're saying that you were young.
No, it doesn't work.
Well,
Well, you just accepted that that's what all books are like.
No, but there's a little bit of poetry in that because he's actually saying that when he was young, his whole life was ahead of him. He couldn't wait the whole world, the promise that he was given of this world, and now he's a bit jaded and he's more cynical, and he realises that the world hasn't got as much to offer him as he thought it was. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Liar. Actually, Carl, you like sayings, don't you? I've got a list here of some of the sayings and phrases that Shakespeare made up, really. In a pickle was his.
Yeah.
And we know what in a pickle
Yeah,
means.
we know what it means. It's a saying I'd never use. Because when you're in a pickle, it's not something that you would say.
No, if you're captured and you're being tortured for information,
Yeah.
you wouldn't, and you get access to a phone, you wouldn't go, MI5, I'm in a pickle. You'd be screaming, going,
You're taking the teeth now.
While you've been talking about that, I just was looking on the computer at the Pun of the Day website. Here's a couple that you might like. There was a sign on the lawn at a drug rehab centre that said, keep off the grass.
Okay, now if the pun is the lowest form of wit, and let's face it, sarcasm isn't, sarcasm is up there compared to the pun, then the drug pun, I think, is one of the lowest of the low. Oh, people who congratulate themselves on getting drug references. Keep off the grass, will you? Grass, get it? Grass. You're smoking the grass, yeah. I think pun should be short for punch him in the mouth.
Idioms are better.
Go on then, what's an idiom? Is that a new word you made up?
No,
As in,
No, I
Carl
know.
Pilkington's a complete idiom.
I found out what it was because I thought, I like them, what are they?
Right.
And it's like little sayings
Yeah, that's right.
that sum stuff up.
Go on, give us an example of your favourite.
I can I just say one, talking about sayings, Carl was getting fed up with something. He was fed up with not getting replies from something. He's having a hard time, And I went, oh, the worm has turned. He went, what? I went, the worm has turned. You've...
Stupid saying, isn't it?
No, okay, tell him why you think that's a stupid saying.
Because how do you know when a worm's turned? Of all the creatures that you could flip over and know it's turned, why pick a worm? It's the worst thing they could have picked to express something turning.
But you're taking turning literally. It means changing, doesn't it? Changing your attitude. A new broom, turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, but
things are going to be different now, and I'm sick of it.
Chameleon.
No, but
chameleon is a brilliant thing to use for something to change. Chuck that in a sentence. There's nothing that you can link a worm to human life to. You're talking about something it's blind, isn't it? It's blind, it's deaf.
Gay.
It's got no features.
Why is he having such a go at a worm?
Just because it's a weird thing to use. Something that its arse it does more than its head.
That could be said of you, Carl, to be fair.
Oaks, featuring Kirsty McCall and A Fairy Tale of New York. Brilliant, on XFM 104.9.
That's the song I think that single-handedly keeps Shane MacGowan in gin for another year.
It must do well, though. But
I'm sure it does.
I absolutely love it. I still love it. I saw it on Top of the Pops too. And it's just brilliant. I mean, he wasn't great at miming, but it didn't bother me.
Sure.
It was miming to a different song, probably.
Yeah, in his head. It was great.
I had a little visit in the week, Rick. I think you missed out. A little Christmas visit from, I know he's a friend of yours. He's a friend of he's a friend of the nation.
Go on.
TV illusionist Darren Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's bought a new pad.
Yeah.
And, he just came around to tell me about it.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting because...
Somewhere to keep his guns.
Exactly. And, he, I can never know kind of how much, he's just playing with your mind, experimenting. But he was telling me about the place, and apparently...
Say he loves you?
he's got a B-day. In the house. Now we were discussing B-days because
never understood that.
I've never got my head around it. To this day,
he's not meant to.
Well, no, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who's used a B-day.
Oh, Darren Brown does. He's known as the cleanest arse in Modern Magic.
Yeah,
shiny arse they call him.
But we were chatting about it, I don't really know. To be truthful, I don't really know how you use them. I don't know.
Well, I assume you just sort of go over it and let...
But do you face the wall with your knees on the tiles,
no,
or do you
I
face
think
away from the wall?
No, it's sort of like you just... I don't...
And
no.
It's got the little
Do
nozzle.
you sit on it, or do you sort of hover above it?
Do you hover above it and just splash things onto them?
No, it's a little jet, isn't it? It does it for you, doesn't it?
But is there a jet? This is what I'm wondering. Is there a jet of water that goes up the crap?
It's like it's a drinking fountain.
That's
used to have in school.
Yeah.
Which, I remember Mr. Mellows used to embarrass himself every time. I go, no, he's in the middle of playground, Mr. Mellows.
Yeah.
It's not a B-day.
We're not at your French, cottage again.
Yeah, I don't... B-day sounds French.
I'm assuming it's French.
After, they're probably so embarrassed about just sort of like squatting over a hole.
Yeah.
They go, well, at least we can clean it.
Have they? Because I haven't been to France for years. But are they still persevering with the public toilets? Which is just a hole in the ground?
I mean, I think they have got.
Has a single Frenchman travelled anywhere else in the world?
Yeah,
and seen that now.
This is uncomfortable. I know. My trousers go down.
To Delhi, and I think they're proper decent porcelain.
I know. I can't believe it. I think they have got the flush ones now, mainly for the tourists.
Sure.
Yeah. But I've never really understood that.
But it's not. You don't go in. It's not like because they're literally crapping into an open sewer, aren't they? That's the French approach to the public lavatory. Do they have the bidet next to the hole?
No. The toilet is a toilet, isn't it?
Right.
But it's just like. It's sort of like it's like going in the bottom of a shower with a big hole at the bottom. But I don't know.
And do you I mean, again, not wishing to get graphic, but do you use the bidet instead of the toilet paper? Is it used in conjunction with, or instead of?
Do you know what? I've honestly never used a bidet.
Because it's not really a working class thing, is it? The bidet.
No, but well, it sort of came in with sort of like purpose-built houses, didn't it? They sort of like shot up all over the. No pun intended. All over the sort of 70s. You know what I mean? It was like in salmon pink. There was toilet, sink and bidet.
Yeah.
We won't be using the bidet.
Exactly.
Fill it with ice, put some beer in that.
Yeah.
Because none of my friends washes their arse.
There are people who refuse to touch their, the hole with the hands, and they only use a bidet, so if they're at a party and there's no bidet.
Well, Carl don't like feeding his bollocks for cancer, because he says he doesn't like the texture of them.
Sure.
Well, so I mean, so he'd probably love a B-day if he didn't
But
have
are
to
there
go.
kind of upper-class women who just waddle into the dining room in sophisticated trousers around their ankles going, where's the B-day? It's filthy.
Where's the B-day?
I don't know what
We
was-
use the paper. The what?
I think the fish was off. I'm going berserk up there.
Get me a B-day.
Yeah, one of you lie on the floor.
Or I am climbing into the sink and turning the tap upside down. It's the only way I can do it.
Yeah.
B-day. Thoughts on B-days?
Have you ever used one?
Well, no, you told me all this, but you still haven't got to the bottom of how you use them.
No, I
I don't know.
I
you
don't know how
what-
to use it.
Do they come? You need to ask their own brand. Does it come with like instructions, like a flat pack
I
kit
think
or
you're supposed
something?
to know.
about-
I think you're supposed to, you know, if you've bought a B-day, the assumption is you know how to use it.
Imagine someone installing it and going, there you go, there's a B-day. Go, can you show me how to use it? Well, you like this? Well, no, let's go to the toilet first. Do the whole thing. Otherwise I won't know in
I'll
context.
just sit here in the corner, that's fine.
Okay.
You
well,
do,
just,
do you read a magazine when you're normally going? or
well, I
what
might
do you
do, but I mean, I don't really want to do it with you here, but how will I know?
Exactly. I need to know how you transport yourself from the lavatory to the
Do you
B-day.
remember when we were trying to offer Carl money to have a shower with Johnny?
Yeah.
That's a
Just
weird
some of the
thing to-
highlights of the year.
That's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
We nearly had him there, and then he didn't want us to watch.
Yeah.
We said,
Yeah.
well, how will we know that you've done it or not?
Yeah.
He went, you are definitely bent. That's his conclusion. What we got lined up?
Well, hang on, let's just say, if anyone's got any idea sort of how to use a B-day, maybe...
Any idea for anything to talk about on this show?
Well, that doesn't involve crapping or
Yeah,
farting.
we've done that.
Yeah.
We
Ian
haven't done little Chinese fellas or the gays yet. That's still to come in the second hour.
Ian.Campfield@xfm.co.uk if you've got any thoughts on B-days or just, you know, lavatories generally. Richard Ashcroft on XFM, Check the Meaning. I think it was out this year and we enjoyed it, so we
I
played
certainly had a thought then that, you know, someone like Richard Ashcroft, who's really cool. I mean, I think one of our greatest rock and rollers, really. He writes great tunes, does great albums. The Verve, you know, already in history. I just suddenly thought of him listening to this and thinking, I wish they wouldn't play my songs because I don't want to be associated with that drivel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is, you know, most people get a buzz out of it, get it on the radio. Do you think people say, don't let Gervais...
Guilty by association.
Do you know what I mean? I love that song. I love Check the Meaning. I thought it was a lovely song. And he's thinking, they're going to sandwich it to bring talk about little gay Chinese fellas and B-days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to make me look
What worries
bad.
me, Rick, is that there, you know, if we had to draw up some kind of list of artists who would allow us to play their songs, it's going to be such a short list. Gary Glitter, you know, it's going to be a few people who, you know, are slightly more shameful than us.
I just thought of something. There are 1 billion people in China, and I assume it's the same percentage of homosexuality occurs, as it were, that to 1 billion, 1 in 10, that means there's 100 million little gay Chinese fellas running around.
Richard Ashcroft, if you're listening, I apologise for that last...
Think about it. John Lennon, you okay? War's over. I heard a DJ in the week, I won't say who it was, but sort of like a cheesy, sort of housewife choice DJ, and he played that, and he went, weird one that, isn't it? What do you think of that the first time you heard it? Strange one. John Lennon, Yoko Ono, war is over. Here's the moment at least out there. What's that?
Oh.
What does he mean?
That's exactly what I want from a DJ. That kind of insight.
We were talking before the break about how many little Chinese fellas there are.
Yeah.
Billions.
An awful lot of them.
Brilliant, good. More the merrier.
Are you familiar, Rick, with the scary fact, I don't know, Camford, if you're aware of this, and
Go
it's
on.
chilling. I don't know where I've heard this from, but apparently, and this is kind of legend, I didn't just make this up, this is well known, that if all the Chinese people in China, right, no, come on, if they all jumped up and down at the same time, apparently, this is what they say, apparently it would cause a tidal wave
that would wipe out America.
that would destroy America.
I love the idea of coordinating that.
Brilliant. Well, I like the idea that, firstly, they don't need weapons of mass destruction, they don't need nuclear weapons, because
No.
they've got that
They
threat
can't have them on
constantly.
that. You can't count
No.
a tidal wave as a weapon of mass
Or
destruction.
jumping.
Tony Blair could send in sort of people, you know, UN people going, look out for anyone jumping.
Exactly.
You know,
All they need is an immense sort of skipping rope.
oh yeah, once a little fella in Japan holding
Yeah,
one end,
exactly.
little fella in Russia holding the other.
Exactly, yeah.
And they go, on your marks, you'd have a lot of coordination over that one little...
Maybe like someone
It
like
would be
Mr. Motivator, kind of coordinating it all from the
Yeah,
top of the
yeah,
wall, sort of
yeah.
looking down.
The
It's
Chinese
got-
equivalent.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. That would be...
Because I think that's why they built the wall. I think that's why they built the
To
Great
jump
Wall.
off the wall.
Exactly, they just climb on that wall. That's the way it's done, that's the threat.
And that's why America started the space race.
Yeah.
Because you can see it from space.
Exactly.
So they go...
They're up there monitoring
This is
constantly.
Eagle to Houston. There's lots of little Chinese fellas about to jump.
Yeah.
This is Houston. Are they wearing them lampshade
We just need to
hats?
confirm they're Chinese. Are they wearing those? Are they wearing those conical hats that look a bit like a lampshade?
They
Yes,
are. They are. Let's just confirm they're Chinese.
Because if I was the leader of China, what is the name of it? What is it? Is he the king of China?
We're so ill-educated,
Is
aren't
it
we?
the king of China? The
It's
Tsar
not
of
a king,
China?
is it? What is it?
Is Chairman Mao still there? Is he
It's
still
chairman someone. Chairman someone else, probably. The new chairman. I
Or
don't
chairwoman, don't be sexist. And,
Actually, you know when I said there's a billion people in China, so there's 100 million little gay Chinese fellas.
Yeah.
Someone phoned up to say half of them are women.
yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Straight on the phone with that.
Well, I meant little lesbian fellas or little gay fellas.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't being sexist.
But if
I'm
I
just
was-
saying there's probably 100 million little gay Chinese people.
What worries me, Rick, is if I was the premier of China, or if it was some of the people I went to
Is
school
it
with.
premier?
Oh, whoever it is, the king of China. If I was the king of China, right? Isn't he the king of China and king and I? Or is that he's somewhere else, isn't he?
That's Siam, isn't it?
I don't know.
We're
Is that not,
rubbish, aren't we?
is that not in China?
We're not.
Where's Siam, then?
We're not. It's Ceylon now, isn't it? I don't know. Or was that? Oh my God! Someone educated listening must be tearing their hair
Yeah,
out,
screaming
listening
at
to three buffoons
But
in
listen,
a room.
if I was the king of China, let's assume he's the king of China.
Okay, yeah, you'd be
Um,
tall.
But you know when sometimes you've had a few drinks, whatever, you know, I mean, I'm sure you've done that thing where you order a pizza for someone, you know, a mate or whatever, or send a taxi around to their house, something like that.
Yeah.
What I do is I just phone up George W. Bush and go, seriously, mate, you better send some stuff over, money and that, and
Yeah.
videos, because seriously, they're all outside now. 1, 2,
Yeah.
you know, and you can freak them out. It'll be
Send us
brilliant.
some knives and forks because I am fed up with these sticks.
Yeah.
It's
I
ridiculous.
don't know why we're still sticking with them.
I can't pick up the tiniest little bit of chicken.
It's crazy.
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
Send us some cutlery.
I'm having a nightmare eating yogurt.
Oh dear. This is 104.9 Racist FM.
Absolutely.
Jonah Louis. Should we apologise for that?
Not at all, no.
That's all right, isn't
Stand
it?
by it, yeah, it's
That was
good.
his follow-up to You'll Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties.
Yeah.
One of my favourite lyrics. She was into French cuisine, but I ain't no cordon bleu. Brilliant.
Yeah, looking forward to playing that in the new year.
What happened to B.A. Robertson?
Don't
He
know.
knocked it off. I was standing in the corner and the ball came across. What was the other one he did?
I don't know. We're not as old as you.
Oh no.
This is all gobbledygook to us.
XFM 104.9. That's
Yeah.
Jonah Louis.
Yeah, you're not listening to classic gold. Amazingly.
I've still got my own teeth.
I think, Rick, I was the subject of a Christmas con in the week.
What, you mean you bought something for £4, then saw it for £4, £3.90 as you walked home?
That would make me
Because
livid.
I've seen you
Oh.
really livid.
I'm absolutely furious. When I bought my PlayStation, I saw I could get it for a £5 cheaper down the road. I was absolutely
And you'd
fuming.
already walked to about 19 places,
Oh, God,
I remember.
yeah.
I actually left you after about an hour.
Yeah.
Can you
No, I
work
do.
out?
I'm furious because I got to get a bargain. I hate feeling that I'm being ripped off.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, I'm loving online shopping. Oh, the savings I'm making, Rick.
Really?
It's crazy.
Really?
Getting 15, 20 quid off some things.
Is it really?
Oh, amazing.
But these things, I might point out, are like Jaguars and, you know, yeah, Mitsubishi cars.
Exactly.